Is an 85-inch TV really the right move for a regular family room, or is it just a status symbol that ends up gathering dust? Who should actually consider splurging on a screen that big, and who would be better off putting that money into a smaller, maybe more efficient setup? And most importantly, does the price make sense for everyday viewing, gaming, and the occasional movie night? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I first started looking at ultra-large screens, the biggest hesitation was the practical side of life. Will the TV fit my wall? Will it be bright enough for daytime TV in a room with big windows? Will the smart platform be easy enough for the whole family, or will it become a source of frustration? Those are the questions that keep most people up at night when they stare at the spec sheet and wonder if they're about to make a mistake that costs both money and space. The TCL 85-inch QM9K is positioned as a mini LED QLED with a 4K panel, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, and a 144 Hz refresh rate. In plain language, that means it promises a very bright picture, strong color volume, and smooth motion, especially appealing for gamers and sports fans. The first thing I looked at in a real-world scenario is the size itself. An 85-inch diagonal works out to about 74 inches wide, so you really need a viewing distance of roughly 10 to 12 feet to avoid pixel grid visibility. If you're living in a compact apartment or a bedroom, that screen will dominate the space and likely cause neck strain. On the other hand, if you have a dedicated home theater room or a spacious living area where the couch sits far enough away, the sheer immersion can be a game changer. Setting it up is surprisingly straightforward for a TV of this size, thanks to TCL's Halo control system. The remote is equipped with motion sensors and a built-in microphone, so you can point, click, and even ask the TV to find a show without touching a button. The presence sensor takes the idea a step further. It detects when you leave the room and can dim the backlight or switch to standby automatically, saving a bit of electricity and extending the panel's life. In practice, I've seen it dim the screen within a few seconds of the couch being empty, which feels like a subtle but useful touch that most premium sets don't offer out of the box. One of the headline claims is up to HDR 6500 brightness and LD 6000 precise dimming. In a bright living room with large windows, many LED TVs struggle to keep the picture punchy, and you end up squinting at washed-out colors. The QM9K's QD Mini LED backlight actually delivers the kind of brightness that lets you watch a sunset scene on a sunny afternoon without the image flattening out. The precise dimming zones help maintain contrast in darker scenes, but because it's still a backlit panel rather than true OLED, the blacks aren't absolute. In a dark home theater setting, you'll notice some blooming around bright objects like a street lamp in a nighttime movie, but the effect is far less aggressive than you'd find on older edge-lit LED sets. If you're a gamer, the 144 Hz panel and HDMI 2.1 support, though limited to 2 ports, are practical advantages. I paired the TV with a PS5, and the higher refresh rate made fast-moving titles like Call of Duty feel smoother, while the low input lag under 15 milliseconds in game mode kept the experience responsive. The Dolby Vision HDR combined with Dolby Atmos from the integrated Bang and Olufsen speakers adds a layer of immersion that rivals a small sound system. That said, the built-in speakers, while surprisingly rich for a TV, can't replace a dedicated soundbar if you're after cinema-level audio. The Bang & Olufsen branding is more about a tuned audio profile than a full-blown speaker array, so audiophiles may still want an external solution. Smart TV functionality runs on Google TV, now enhanced with the Gemini AI layer. Voice commands work reliably for basic tasks, changing the volume, launching Netflix, or asking for the weather. The AI can also suggest content based on your watching habits, which feels handy if you don't have the time to scroll through endless menus. However, the interface isn't the fastest when you jump between apps, and occasional hiccups with streaming services have been reported. In a household with kids who love to binge cartoons, the system's parental controls are decent but not as granular as some competitors. If you're already entrenched in the Apple ecosystem, you'll miss AirPlay integration. Google TV leans heavily on YouTube and Chromecast casting, which is great if you live in an Android-centric environment. Now, who should actually buy this monster? First, families or couples with a dedicated media room that can accommodate the size and distance requirements. If you watch a lot of sports, play next-gen consoles, or love streaming premium HDR content, the high brightness and 144Hz refresh rate